Welcome viewers to another episode of Steel Scenario Live. We are honored to have with us one of India's most well-known stainless steel expert today, Mr. NC Mathur. Welcome, sir, to Steel Scenario Live.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
He is a graduate from Birla Institute of Technology with BTech in 1966. And since 1983, he is with Jindal Stainless Group. Am I right, sir?
Absolutely, you are on the dot, yeah.
Yes. So let's hear from him about his association with the stainless steel world, not only India, but global stainless steel world, since he passed out as a graduate. Sir, please.
Thank you very much for asking me to give a quick rundown of my own career. I joined the Birla Group in 1966 by personal invitation by P.D. Birla. Stayed on their project sites for many years from 1966 to 1972, which included Hindustan Aluminum, Cement, and then Pulp and Paper in South.
Right.
1972, I came to Delhi when they were establishing our alloy steels plant, a modern alloy and stainless steel plant. So I was heading the marketing there. But to cut the story short, in 1983, I had this opportunity and personal invitation from Mr. O.P. Jindal to join the group.
Right.
And that's where I am for the last 37 years association. Of course, at the age of 76, I can't be on the payroll, so I'm currently an independent director with Jindal Stainless Hisar Limited. But I've been following stainless steel industry for a long, long time, and I can run down any statistics from 1980 onwards, when nobody knew about India. You know, India was not on the global map. Our production was 50,000 tons for the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody knew about it. So in 1995, when we were producing about 500,000 tons, and I was speaking in a conference in Paris, and they never heard India on the map of stainless steel. And that volume itself was impressive for them. And thereafter, rest is history. And I can say that from 1980 to the year 2000, the growth has been very fast because of low level domestic production. We have been growing at 18% per annum for these 20 years to reach 1 million ton production in the year 2000. And today we are close to 4 million. After 2000, we have grown at 8 to 9 healthy growth, which is much more than the world growth. So during this period, I was associated in formation of Indian Stainless Steel Development Association in 1989, because that should be the technical and market development arm of the industry to help everybody, the large producers, the small producers, connect India to the rest of the world. And that been a big success story that we recently celebrated 30 years of ISSDA. Mm-hmm. So I have fortunate that I've been able to attend so many meetings around the world, have friends, and visited almost all the important plants in the world. So so that's a little bit of background. And now, if you have any questions specifically on stainless steel, you go ahead, please. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So if we can hear from you with your experience and everything, how does the stainless steel market presently looks like? Like, what is the present status and what can be expected in the coming months or the coming year?
Well, the stainless steel story is very interesting because if you look at the annual growth of steel and other products from 1980 to, let's say, 2019, mm-hmm. Carbon steel has grown at 2.49% in spite of China's contribution, aluminum 3.71%, and stainless steel is at, I think, 5.33%. So on an annual growth, stainless steel has performed better than other metals. So that's one positive point. And of course, it's China all the way. In the year 2000, when I told you just now that we produce 1 million ton in India, mm-hmm. and you will believe or not that China produced less than India in the year 2000. Today, it's absolutely the other way around. Mm-hmm. And in 2019, there was no impact of Corona or COVID-19. So there was a healthy growth, and we produced more than 52 million tons of stainless steel worldwide. And China alone had produced 29 million tons. as number one. India is the second largest producer at 4 million, but look at the gap between 29 million and 4 million. Then comes Japan, which used to be number two position, then United States and other countries. So that way, India has achieved second position in terms of production of stainless steel, like the other steel also. But the interesting fact is that if you take the stainless steel pie within the overall umbrella of steel, it's just about globally 2.8% of the total steel produced. But in India, fortunately, stainless steel percentage is slightly more than 3%. So that way, our ratio of stainless steel within the steel family is higher in India. And we are proud of that. And there are many reasons for that. So, because of this current scenario, what we have got is the first quarter of 2020 data, which shows for the first time a drop of 8% in production worldwide. And China, of course, never went down so badly in any quarter or any year. January, March 2020, China also was down by around 7%. So that's the reality of the current crisis. So also in India, because of the lockdown, most of the plants closed their operations for several weeks. And of course, in the month of June, they restarted. So we have definitely had a loss of production. We don't know exactly how much we lost, where we will come up, but it is estimated by September we should be back to the normal level of production. So that is the current scenario as far as stainless steel is concerned.
Okay. So you have already touched upon two more points I would have asked you. One is post-pandemic, what kind of change in stainless steel products or usage that can be expected? Will there be any change? If there is, what kind of change that will happen?
Well, stainless steel is a value-added engineering material.
Yes.
As I said, it is maybe just below 3% of the total steel pie worldwide, but it contributes to 12 to 15% of the revenue of the steel sector. So therefore, it's a high value added product because it requires chromium minimum, certain percentage, it may require nickel, may require other alloys. So it's a much higher value added product. And what we are expecting in India is that let's see where stainless steel goes in India versus the rest of the world. We have to salute our housewife, our number one customer, because we see stainless steel in our kitchen all the way from storage dabbas to cooking, for serving, and in the washing area, stainless steel sinks are all popular for the last many years, and which accounts for, surprisingly very high, more than 60% of stainless steel goes into a kitchen and kitchen related, which worldwide, what we call it as a consumer good, is around 35%. So that's our number one pie. Second come the process industry, whether it's oil and gas, whether it is food processing, and many of the other industrial applications worldwide, that takes 23%. India, it is, I think, around 13%. So we have to catch up in that area, and I'm sure the present government's policy and Prime Minister's message on Atmanirbhar Bharat will have certain impact for sure going forward. There's no doubt about that. And then comes your automotive railways and transport, where we have had a great success, starting with our Delhi Metro project, which is now more than 10, 12-year-old. All the coaches are of stainless steel. And of course, Mr. Sridharan, who is the Metro man, had a choice of material, what to use, aluminum or cotton steel or stainless steel. Because of its long-term value and least maintenance, other properties like impact value, behavior at high temperature in case of accident or fire. So the right choice was made. And therefore, this is story going on in all our metro cities, and that we continue to be one of the big user of stainless steel. Also, on the railway front, our passenger coaches, there are 3 plants, one in Punjab, in Kapurthala, the rail coach factory. There's one in Raebareli in Uttar Pradesh. The third one, the oldest one, is in Chennai. All of them are now geared to make passenger coaches for long distance trains, also using a very large portion of stainless steel in its shell and other areas of passenger coaches. So overall, I think in automotive railways and transport, Also in the auto industry, which is down at the moment, because of higher emission norms, they will be using stainless steel in exhaust and other components in a car. And if we succeed in future for our electric vehicle, there will be more stainless steel application in the auto industry. We have looked at stainless steel for our buses, which are intercity buses, and that's a new story developing in India. The other one is the architecture, building and construction, where we had a slow start. Two reasons was, first of all, stainless steel not a subject being taught in any IIT or any engineering college so far. So there's no basic knowledge of our young graduates or our design institute. So we are plugging those kind of programs, so that unless you're educated, how do you specify stainless steel? Second issue was the quality of fabrication. Even if I have a design, I don't know where to go and who will deliver. For my house, for my office, for my hotel, for my hospital, for airports. So those things are a developing story for India. So there's a big scope in that field, what we call architecture, building, and construction. These are the areas, and I think other very important factor in favor of India is our demography. We have young population, 65%. People in India are below the age of 35. So that's a positive sign of the future demand growth. And there'll be movement of young people from rural to urban, and with their purchasing power going up, well, it will benefit all segments, including stainless steel. So I think the future is good for stainless steel.
Okay. Right now, sir, a kind of anti-China sentiment that's going on largely in India. Okay. So do you think the stainless steel sector will this anti-China sentiment will be a boon or a bane to the stainless steel sector?
Well, China being a largest producer, they export stainless steel mill products. And don't forget that China also exports stainless steel containing material, whether for industrial application, capital goods, name any of those things. That can't be counted in terms of volume. But they have been a big exporter of all these things. It's not only what data we get, how many long product, how many flat product, hot rolled coil, cold rolled coil, what did they export? So that's one data. And India is not largely dependent on Chinese imports, but certainly they offer a low price because of certain inherent advantages in tax, in their logistic cost. So we of course do need some protection but it's not a threat to us. We have to develop our own market. So in the short run, I think it may not have any major impact. A government may consider certain other measures of safeguard duty or increase in custom tariff, whatnot. And we also pay for some of our key raw materials some custom duty, which I'm sure going forward, it's a small revenue for the finance ministry, but it would help our industry if we don't pay on import of nickel. We have no nickel in the country, and also stainless steel scrap. We are recycling scrap into a fresh material, and it can be charged technically up to 90% scrap in a furnace to make a fresh stainless steel. Nothing goes wrong in using scrap because all the elements are intact, whether it is carbon, whether it is nickel, chrome, or molybdenum. So I think that's important that we look at our raw material scenario, predominantly nickel and chromium, which we have some chromium but no nickel in the country at all. So why are we paying custom duty on import of ferronickel or on import of stainless steel scrap at 2.5%? So government may do away with those small requests of the industry, and some watch on imports at a low price or a reduced invoicing or whatever practices may be there for the trade. Because of cheaper material, many of the small MSME people from manufacturing have become traders. So therefore, I think we have to analyze the scenario and request the government. We have the capacity to meet 100% of our requirement. So therefore, I think I would again reiterate what Prime Minister said, the 5 pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat. First was economy, second was infrastructure, third the systems, fourth demography, and fifth was demand. So I think if we tune ourselves with the message from the top, we are sure of a good future of stainless steel industry. At 2 to 3 kilogram per person, with a world average of 6 to 7, all the developed economy 10, 15, China 15, 16. So where are we going to go wrong? Share of stainless steel going forward. Yeah.
Okay. Sir, what are the steps do you think the sector as a whole should be taking to initiate a larger consumption of stainless steel in India? One, you're saying that the architects, they find it difficult to incorporate stainless steel because there are no courses, or like no courses which include stainless steel in their curriculum. So already what I understand from you, initiatives are being taken to see into the curriculum of the education part. But what are the other ways, what are the other components do you think one needs to look into on urgent basis to give a boost of stainless steel demand in India?
Well, what I'm seeing is believing. Therefore, first of all, I'm glad that IIT Kharagpur and IIT Roorkee and some other places, they have introduced stainless steel courses.
Okay.
Globally, we have courses available free of cost for students to go on their own free time. So I think that's where we should, as an association, not as an individual company, promote and inform them that this is available just on your desktop.
Right.
And you learn self-learning and you can educate yourself. Secondly, the people who can deliver it, what is the right way of welding, how to finish it, what grade of stainless steel should be used and what application. In Mumbai or Calcutta, where there is a coastal area, the stainless steel has to be a little higher grade. For the same application in Delhi, you don't have to have 316 or those kind of things. So that education of right material, for the right application, right fabrication, and so that's where the job of Indian Stainless Steel Development Association is. And we are fortunate that we have success stories from all over the world. Since 2007, we have been meeting every alternate year to interact for 2 days just to know what's happening in Brazil, what is the success story happening in Thailand or in Korea. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So to acquire that knowledge and success story is one part. And I'm sure at 2 kg, we are not at all happy. We have to go forward to go from 2 to 3 kg per person, 3 to 4, come to a world average, close to world average. Right. In all these areas, I mean, even within our kitchen and kitchen related, there is still scope. Architecture, building, construction, we are only at about 6%. World average is 18%. So we have a long way in the ABC sector. Look at our infrastructure projects which the government will be looking at when this situation becomes normal. Look at our future airports, hotels, hospitality industry, and also the food industry. Also look at medical equipment, and medical thing will be a new area of growth for us, application in healthcare sector. So that's where I'm always optimistic that we will be successful. We'll not. Stainless steel is a small global family. Under the umbrella of International Stainless Steel Forum, we meet every year twice. And that's a part of the World Steel Association. We felt in 1995 that within the stainless steel needs a little separate treatment. Therefore, it was decided to form this International Stainless Steel Forum. And that has done an excellent job of connecting people at the highest executive level to the working level at the senior executives in marketing, market development, technology, technical information, all that. So that has helped to have a global feel of what the industry is looking at. And also the stainless steel development associations. There are associations in Japan more than 50 years, South Africa, although it's a small producer, because they had all the chrome in the world, so therefore they had started that association, already completed 50 years. In India, 30 years now. And so therefore, the knowledge sharing without disturbing each other's market, there's nothing happening, will happen anywhere if India's growth stories is there in all the segments. And as I said, all these segments of our kitchen and household, automotive, railways, transport sector is the booming possibilities for us in the architecture, building and construction. Education. In the field of education, we are looking at introducing the stainless steel courses. And as a company, Jindal have 2 buses, which are fully equipped with physical seeing and believing, touch and feel stainless steel, what it looks like, whether it's a overhead water tank or a special handrail, and many products are on physical display with a big, huge glass door, window, and that can go on the doorstep of any location in India and teach them, the small fabricators or small vendors, how to handle stainless steel, how to select. So it's not only theoretical knowledge which we want to impart, it should be available on their doorstep in physically touch and feel kind of scenario. So I'm sure, and we have very important centers of stainless steel growth in the MSME sector in Jodhpur in Rajasthan, surprisingly is doing very well. Whole of Gujarat and Ahmedabad area, Mumbai, Chennai, and these are the centers which are there, and we have to do a lot more in the east side. The eastern part of India was neglected. This is an opportunity that we go to all the possible locations in the eastern part of India.
Mm-hmm. Sir, and what about technologically, how much are we developed to produce stainless steel in India? Like, are we self-sufficient in technology, or we are taking foreign technologies in stainless steel production?
Well, let's say in Jindal Stainless, that we have been producing for almost 40 years stainless steel. We have developed skill. We have a strong R&D center of our own, and basically stainless steel worldwide is produced through electric arc furnace. Yes. All you have to do is to increase your power rating through the ultra high power transformers, or going for a secondary refining, which is important. They use the furnace only for melting of your scrap and other alloys. All the treatment which you do is in a vacuum or in a AOD or VOD, what we call. You have the continuous casting. You have to have proper rolling mill. So I think we have gained our own knowledge. And more importantly, it is the grades of stainless steel. India has a very interesting success story here. I must share with you that in 1989-90, stainless steel was predominantly used in our kitchen only, 90%. All was of 304 grade, means 18% chromium, 8% nickel. Nickel prices went up from an average of $6,000 to $18,000. We had import tariff 150% in those days. What do we do? Should we shut our plant? Should we tell our customer from tomorrow or next month, we'll have to charge you 100% more? So we had to innovate and find out what is this, where is the stainless steel going? And then we found that during the World War II, because of nickel shortage, US put an embargo on use of nickel, and therefore companies like Allegheny developed these lower grade nickel stainless steel for the similar application. And they came into ASTM standards in mid-50s. After that, people forgot about it. For India, it was a wake-up call that should we take some idea from there, and that's where we developed the stainless steel grade, what we call the 200 series, where nickel from 8% was dropped to 4.5% to 2.5%, and now even 1% and less. And it was replaced by manganese, which is not as expensive, and a little bit of copper, and all those adjustments were done. You'll be surprised that when we had this kind of situation, the worldwide production of 200 series was 40,000 tons, is nothing. Today, it is a 20% of the pie, which means 10 million tons. So it's a credit should go to India for doing it. China copied us, China followed us. So they may be bigger producer than us, but this kind of technology, innovation, R&D, we are second to none, and we are keeping our eyes and ear open of what can happen in future.
Okay. What about the export market of stainless steel? What percentage do we export, and what are the products that are exported?
Well, the stainless steel export can be classified into 3 parts. One are directly the mill products, which are in the hot rolled coil, cold rolled sheet and coil, long products like wire rod or round bars or wire. These are mill products produced by the primary producer. The second export are our value-added products. One is, of course, all kitchenware from India is going all over the world. So that is the export of stainless steel into value-added, not directly from our mills. The third are, of course, the capital goods, which big companies like L&T and all that are bidding in big projects overseas, whether it's for nuclear, whether it's for big thermal power or any of those things. So stainless steel component would go. So these are three parts. But coming to the industrial products which we make as a primary producer, we have developed our markets all over the world, within Southeast Asia, within your Europe, in US, in Brazil. So we have a footprint around the world, and I think 18 to 20% products from our company can qualify for exports at any given point of time in any scenario. It can be always increased because of lower production in some of those countries. In the current scenario, you might have seen, of course, Jindal Steel and Power, our sister company, has done exceedingly well. Yes. Everybody closed their plant and think what will happen, and they exported left, right, and center. Yes. And that's where it's a lesson for other players in the steel industry, including stainless steel. The world market is open to us.
So whatever conversation we were having till now, you have been very positive about the stainless steel market, and you're very hopeful. And from the conversation, we can understand that stainless steel has a very bright future, even in coming years. But with your association with stainless steel sector for so long, if I can put my last question to you, what has been the biggest challenge, or what were the challenges, and how we have managed to address those challenges?
Well, there are 2-3 key issues. One, as I said, we need to import nickel, we need to import scrap, and therefore one, of course, is to request government on these duties and taxes matter of import duty, which is more 2.5%, but why have that irritation? Secondly, I'm glad that the Steel Ministry is looking at metal scrap policy. We don't have an organized segment of the industry for proper segregation, for collection, for distribution. We don't have a scenario where we have big shredder like for the auto. And of course, the first, I think, MOU between Mahindra Group and MSTC has been there to set up a regional scrap processing center. So scrap is most important for us. So that is one area we have to look at. And other than that, our growth is quite healthy. 8 to 10%, not bad, and we are in a position to meet all our requirements. And again, we have to promote local material. We have to be more vocal about local, as the Prime Minister says. And the good thing about this current scenario is that people have not gone to the factories, they have not gone to the offices for several weeks, but they have chit-chatted with each other. They are coming a little more closer, and they are understanding. I'm talking about MSME sector, which is a big part. Once we produce, we don't know what all is going to happen to that metal through a distributor, through a service center, through a small vendor and a small fabricator. So now that industry, since I am also part of on their WhatsApp group, I could see that there is a wake-up call for them to organize themselves, and if they can utilize their potential, government is giving some incentives to the MSME sector. So that is where there will be a big push in promoting stainless steel and making it available at the right price for the right application.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. It was, as usual, a pleasure talking to you. We have been meeting for quite some time, but with the new situation, that is not a possibility. But I'm sure our viewers will find your input very interesting and enlightening. Thank you so much from Steel Scenario, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.